How to be accepted into any new group or social situation. So I want to share a quick story with you. Months ago, I can't remember exactly how long ago it was. I think it was like a year and a half ago, 2 Halloweens ago. I went to a party. I was invited by a friend. I knew two people there, my friend and his girlfriend, and there were a bunch of new people that were basically his girlfriend's friends. So I'm just walking into this party, bunch of new people, and I'm like, no problem. I'm social. I'm outgoing now. So I'm actually kind of nervous though, because it's like, oh man, my friend's girlfriend, got to make a good impression. I don't know what was going on in my head. Got to make a good impression. Got to fit in. I haven't been to a party in a while. It's a lot of new people. I don't know. I'm not in college anymore. I need to, whatever. I need to be cool to fit in. So I show up and I'm kind of nervous and I'm just like kind of awkward at the beginning. And I go throughout the night. And I remember like sitting down in the middle of everybody and I was like trying to engage everybody. Like, hey, so where are you from? What do you do? You're that person, right? Haha. And then I'm like trying to force jokes with everybody and whatever. And I was like trying to be outgoing. And then the night progresses. We start drinking because it's a Halloween party. We start having fun. And the night progresses. We start playing games and stuff. Everything's cool. And it was really fun. And then like a few days later, since me and my friend are like straight up with each other, we give each other feedback all the time. We were talking about like socializing with new people. We were talking about dating. We were talking about those topics. And he was like, yeah, dude, like I'm telling you this for feedback. So, because it related to the topic we were talking about. He's like, yeah, this girl did say at the very beginning of the party, she felt like she couldn't say anything to you because your ego was too big. And then because she thought she was going to shatter your ego. And I was like, shatter my ego? She felt like she couldn't say anything to me because she felt like she was going to shatter my ego. And I like thought about it. I'm like, yeah. Like when you put on a facade and you go into a party and you're trying to act cool, you're trying to act really outgoing, but deep down you're kind of shy and insecure and you're trying to hide it. And it's kind of true. If somebody like says something to you, like gives you a little bit too much shit, it would actually hurt you personally. You'd like take it personally. I definitely could see that at that party. And when I was younger, I was really, really shy and really quiet. And I didn't talk to anybody at parties except for people that I knew, and I wouldn't really say much. But getting a little bit older, I realized I could kind of force it, and it was almost like overcompensating for the fact that I used to be shy because I didn't want to go into parties and be quiet anymore. So I would go into parties and almost like overdo it and be like, hey, everybody, what's up? Oh, so what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Where are you guys from? Blah, 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 blah. And it was like way too much. So fast forward now. After that party, like I said, that was over a year ago. Recently, like in the last month or two, I was invited to a social gathering where I noticed something. I noticed that I had the urge, because there's a lot of new people that I didn't know. I knew like one person there, and then another kind of person who I hadn't seen in a while, whatever. A couple of people I just hadn't seen in a while, and more new people. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in this new friend group. I hope they accept me. And I remember at a certain point, more people showed up and they sat next to me. We were like eating pizza, having a beer or whatever. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, I should say something. I should make a joke on that. Because like I was acting very natural. Like it was just normal stuff. I was just throwing stuff into the conversation, just naturally. And I noticed at one point, I thought I should be talking more. Because like two people were having a conversation and the rest of us were kind of like listening. And I was like, oh, I should say something. I need to make myself known. But then I was like, wait a second. Make myself known? What? It was like this selfish thought of like, I need to be seen. I need to be known. I need to be accepted into this group. And then I kind of reminded myself like, no, you're cool. You're cool, Troy. Just chill. You're going to be Troy no matter what, whether other people accept you or not. Also, they're having a conversation. Do you legitimately have anything to add to this conversation? If yes, say it. If no, don't try to like prove yourself or try to be the loudest one in the room or try to be the outgoing one just so nobody thinks you're shy or weird or anything. It's almost like this urge to like destroy judgment before it even happens. Because you know when you go into a social, like a stand-up comedian, he can go up in front of an audience. Maybe he has a big nose. I heard the story about a comedian that used to do this. He would walk up and he'd look to the right, to the left, and then he'd make a joke about his big nose. And then for the rest of the act, you know, everybody would laugh. For the rest of the act, nobody could mention it or make fun of him because he already mentioned it. I was almost doing that, but in like an overcompensating way. But this time, like I said, I just kind of hung back. You can do that, or when somebody mentions it, you can just act cool, like in the nose thing. Instead of doing that, when somebody makes fun of it, he could just be calm and cool because he already knows he has a big nose. Anyway, so with the shy thing, I felt myself overcompensating a lot over the years. Like I had this urge to overcompensate because I was shy when I was younger, because people called me quiet when I was younger, and I took it personally. So I tried to go the opposite direction and be super outgoing. But in this instance, like I said, in this party example or this night out example, I just held myself back and I was like, no, you're fine. Just be you. Just relax. And then the night progressed, and later on we went back to my friend's place, and we were gonna like play games and stuff. And this girl mentioned to me, she was like, oh, hey, like, because I drove separate. And then like we took like different cars and stuff. And then we got out of our cars, we were going into the place, and she's like, hey, I'm glad you came. You know, like kind of good signs. That was some feedback. But anyway, yeah, so that obviously was a lot different than the party before that I mentioned, the other example, where this time it was like I kind of like held back a bit, and only just added to the conversation. It was more of a me being part of the environment and like adding to the environment rather than trying to prove myself. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, take that lesson for what it's worth. I think I'm going to title this video, How to Be Accepted in Any New Social Situation or Party Environment. It really is a balance. I posted a video in our Facebook group about how to be more interesting, and the fact that you're more interesting when you're not trying to prove yourself, when you like hang back a little bit. I actually think that's one of the biggest problems that at least I've had in dating, and that I see in like guys who go on dates and they talk way too much, or just people in general, not just guys, like men and women, when they talk way too much, they try to prove themselves. It's just like, there's no mystery. So take that for what it's worth. I'll see you next time.